Welcome back, all sports ranters. Hosting today, Jacob, Nico, and Ben. We want to welcome you to join us live and chat with us and have some fun. Okay, but we're here live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. At the SportsRanter on YouTube. But we're finalizing fantasy football championship week, week 15, correct? We want to. Nick has been waiting patiently to claim his spot at the top of the ranks. Okay, we want to cover our. Like I said, we feature our league here, so I want to screen share the bracket. All right, here we go. And believe it or not, we got the three brothers, all in the league. I think the matchup of the week is Nico versus Christian, the 3 times champ. Right, Nick has to get past the 3-time champ in order to get in. And we got last year's champ Mario versus Christian Mingle, Damien, and I think also Christian has also won as well, right, before. So we got 3 former champions.
Damien, yeah.
Damien has won before, and
I'm the one that hasn't yet. I'm the one that hasn't. So.
Nick's the only one that hasn't won in this league here, and so
in this group.
So you know what, we're being hopeful. I don't know what has to happen for you, Nick, to make this happen, but I just want to share that with the folks. What's happening, okay? And so I don't know if you guys have any specific stories that happened for you. I know, Nico, you're on the bye week, but Jacob, I want to discuss what happens in the fantasy playoffs. A lot of us have different ways to manage our stress levels, okay? And so a lot of us want to avoid it. A lot of people are stuck to the TV, but especially during fantasy time, a lot of things happen. But I know you had something significant happen for you for these bad beat playoffs. Can you share with us what happened? And then, Nico, I'll pass it to you.
Well, first off, with our league, with Nick's league, I think it's really cool to see Nick and Damien and Christian in there with Mario. Because honestly, like I worked with you guys for a lot of years. Nick, Damien, Christian, I mean, you guys all follow your sports so well. You guys are not you guys are guys that are just the kind of guys that like every league wants, that just knows sports, does their homework. Like you guys have all your you guys are just tuned in like every week, all the time of what's going on. So I think it says a lot for our league, for Nick's league. Just all 3 of you guys being in there, because you guys educate yourselves. You guys are just so like tuned into football, so it's really cool to see all of you there. And Mario, like I don't know, dude, I remember very recently he was in the playoffs too. So I was just at his casino, and I saw him, and I was really stoked to see him in there too. So that's going to be a really cool like semifinals and finals. I'm honestly super happy for all you guys, but it's really cool, Nick, you and Christian and Damien. You guys live and breathe fucking sports and football, and so for all 3 of you to be in there with Mario, like it's really cool.
I agree.
Yeah, in my league, so. At this point, like I'm in 6 leagues, and then I have a dynasty league, which I don't really count that very much, like because that's kind of a different beast. But I had a first round bye in one of those leagues, and then in my league, which is kind of the same with Nick. Like I've been commissioning this league for a long time. It's the league that I want to win. I haven't won it yet. I got to the championships last year. I came down to a nail biter this week. And so, to manage the stress. So I didn't turn on the phone or anything like that, pretty much all weekend. I was just like, I can't handle I can't live on that, through the whole weekend. I did watch the Dallas Buffalo game because Buffalo is kind of my team. And I had some implications there. James Cook went off. It was fantastic. CeeDee Lamb really laid a dud. But I was telling, as I was telling Ben, like, so I had about a 3-point deficit to my opponent, who was Kenny Garcia in my league, going into Monday night. He had Tyler Lockett and I had DK Metcalf. And I was just like, I just had that feeling like it was just like, you know what? We had Drew Lock. I knew Gino wasn't going to play. Tyler Lockett just needs literally one play, and he's going to blow that open. You know, I know DK's had a few games, but he's had a few terrible, terrible games. Further backstory: Kenny fell asleep on Sunday morning. He left Tyreek Hill into his lineup, and Tyreek Hill didn't play. But I was texting Kenny Monday, and he said yes. Greg Davis would have absolutely been the play had Tyreek Hill not been there. He said that's why I didn't feel bad, because Greg Davis laid a 0 also. So it wouldn't like Greg Davis would have made a difference in that. So he was kind of okay with that, which made me kind of okay with the cheap win that I got called out on by our other hosts. But a win is a win, whether you win by an inch or you win by a mile, as the legendary Dominic Toretto once said. So, but yeah, literally as the Monday night game was going on, me and a friend watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and I peeked at my score twice, and I think that I peeked at it with 1:58 to go in the fourth quarter. I was still down by a few points, and as the movie got over, so I'm like, well, let's watch the end of it. It's kind of the end of the year, and the very first play when we turned on, DK catches an 18-yard pass, and then he caught that 44-yard pass, and she said that she's never seen such pure joy from somebody like that. Call it a cheap win, call it whatever, but this is fantasy football playoffs, and it's just next week is the week, because if you win next week, you're in the money bowl, and whether you win or lose is great, but you kind of in that money bowl. But next week, I'm in the semifinals in 2 leagues, and like we got football all week. It's a long weekend for us construction guys, So it's like I don't know how I'm going to stay away, but it's going to be a stressful weekend. Nick, I'm sure. I don't know how you deal with it. I mean, how are you? You are the top dog. Like how are you going to do this?
Well, the holiday season makes it easier because I have to go here, I have to go there, so it naturally distracts you. So it's not like the middle of October where you got nothing going on, where you're itching and you have to watch every game. So like on Sunday we had my holiday party with my family. We celebrate early every year. I had my wife's holiday party on Friday, and like this weekend we might be going to Yuma. So with family events and office events and stuff, it does distract, and I guess that would be like my main stress reliever. But I mean, I had an easy streak this week because I'm in 5 leagues like Jake. I had to buy in 3 of them, so I had a really good, successful fantasy. And the one league I did play in was less stressful because, and it's the one I was riding Tyreek all year. My opponent I was going against, he hits me up on Thursday and he's like, just so you know, I'm rooting for the Raiders because I started their defense against the Chargers. So I want it to be bittersweet for you, I'm like, yeah. And I was thinking, okay, yeah, backup quarterback Chargers. Yeah, good play. Our defense has been, like I said, I've been saying our defense has been underrated all year. They're good. But I wasn't expecting that nonsense. Like, it's the best defensive Raider game I've seen in, 20 years. Like, 2 defensive scores and all this stuff. And so right off the bat on Thursday night, he gets 30 points. And I'm just like, it's real hard. It's impossible cool, but when you're already starting 30 deep down from the opponent's defense, and I already had like Tyreek on a bye,
What did the Raiders defense get in our league, Nick? Because I know defenses do pretty good in our league. Was it 37 points?
In ours, I don't even know because I don't think anybody started them, did they?
I don't know.
I only looked at the matchup.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. I got 29 in mine, and then And then like going into Sunday, and then Saturday happened, and I had my son's basketball game. This and that. I had Jared Goff and Addison on the bench,
Oh.
so I had 50 points on the bench. So I'm like, I'm done. Like, I already went into Sunday. I was like, there was no stress. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I obviously started the wrong guys. He got 30 points from the Raiders defense. Like, you know how it is. It's like it's not meant to be. Like, it's just
You
not
could just
meant to
feel
be.
you just feel it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
feel it. You feel it. And then I was like, my only like ray of sunshine is okay, if Tyreek plays, I've been writing him all year. Like, that's my only, Tyreek needs like a 40-point game and maybe I got a shot. And then he's not playing. So I'm like, oh, I'm done. My Sunday's done. And all the other 3 leagues were all buys. So it was pretty a stress-free weekend. I'm going to be real stressed this weekend. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be on my phone all weekend. My wife's going to get mad at me because we're going to be with her family. And I'm going to be like,
You know
I
what?
need to know, of course.
That is perfect because I forgot about the hook question of the week. Jake mentioned a significant other, Nick, your wife, and so what I wanted to ask you guys is now that we're in championship week, okay, and that some of us are possibly in the money, okay. I'm in second place in my 10-team leagues. All I got to do is win this week. I'm gonna win the championship, and I'll get into the other one, right? But my question is, if you win some money, does your wife or your significant other stake any claim to any percentages of your winnings because of all the things that we put them through? Jake, please start it off.
Well, the term wife doesn't exist in my world, and the term significant other is extremely loose. So, no, that doesn't have any stake at all. But I will say this: I mean, boys, we've all grown up a little different, but yours truly here has kept a pretty carefree life. But I'm gonna say this: I'm gonna say something to my you know who you are. When she saw like the live, I've had big fantasy wins, fantasy weeks, and she, how did your fantasy go? And she'll, and I'll say like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what happened, this and that. But when she was there with me, when DK caught that catch, and then at the end of the game, it was intercepted and it was over, and I won by 2 points. And she, like, the happiness in her face that, like, when she saw, like, my pure joy and, like, excitement about this, like, she told me, like she just basically said, like, I have a deeper understanding of, like, how much goes into this and stuff. Like, yeah, if I win some money, we're gonna go out to like a real nice like Ruth's Chris dinner or something like that. Because there's also been weeks too. It's funny, it's ironic because this week I beat Kenny to move on, but the week that I needed to win when I lost to Kenny, and that was the week where I had CD and DK on Thursday night, and I ended up losing that, and she really helped, like she shouldered that loss with, because I mean, dude, when Debo went off for that like second or third touchdown and I lost, she was there with me, and I was just like, dude, and I was just, I mean, dude, I was a train wreck. I was just like, oh my God, this and that, and she was right there to shoulder it. So like this, this person is really, she's been really good about my extreme emotions, ups and downs this league. So yeah, she deserves like a real nice dinner. If I win some money, we're gonna go do something good. Long answer, short answer, turn long.
It's all good. Nico?
Yeah, I mean, I'll make it short. I made that deal with my wife a long time ago because she doesn't have an ounce of any sports enthusiasm at all. Like, she doesn't even understand why I even turn the TV on to even watch a sports game. Super extreme. Not big in her family at all. And so when we first got together and she noticed that, like, why do you have to watch every Sunday? Like, why do you, like, it just would bother her. And then luckily in the first or second year, I don't remember, like, I won a league or two of them, and I took on a shopping spree, and it's kind of been the tradition ever since. It's like, hey, let me watch my sports, let me watch, my football, and when I win, I'll take you shopping. And so yeah, she definitely gets a piece of it. She's due for one. I haven't won a league in about 3 years, 3, 4 years. So uh, I'm hoping one of these leagues pan out and she'll go on a little shopping spree.
Well, as you heard, folks, I want to say thank you, Seth. Thank you, Jesus, for checking in. We'll get to you guys in a second. But as you guys heard, Nico is in multiple leagues. He's at bye week, right? He's at the bye week in this league. He's very, very smart. And so that's what you have to do when you do have a wife. I agree. I made the same deal. When I bring in some money, you get a payment because of what you have to deal with. I know she gives me no advice, right? But she gives me no shoulder to cry on either. When I'm crying about my loss, she's just rolling her eyes, get away from me, right? But, they do have to endure something. So I agree. I'm going to do the same thing. Hopefully I win. And do win one of my 10-team leagues. I have to give a shout out to Seth. I used to bully Seth. Okay, he used to ask me at work, guys, about the 10-team league, situations, and I used to just, get away from me, bro. Like literally, I used to be a dick about it because I'm so invested into our 12-team. Really, really competitive leagues. Not that they're not competitive, these 10-team leagues, but like I said, it's just different, right? The way that you have to manage your leagues. But I want to apologize to Seth. He's facing you this week, Jake, in your league.
I was gonna. Is this the same set that is in our league now?
Yes.
He works.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I face Seth, and I don't know if you're watching. I don't know if he's watching now or whatever, but Seth was great because he inherited a team that was already drafted by somebody that we had some issues with, and that ended up leaving the league after the draft and after everybody had already paid and all that stuff. So Seth was absolutely like a rock star. He came in, he picked up that team, he made some trades. He's managed. He's been great. And it would be like epic if he won. Unfortunately, I'm not rooting for you because you got to go through me. And I was like one of your 2 losses, but no, dude, Seth is awesome, and I don't think I haven't met him personally. I'm looking forward to next year's draft because he's been an awesome addition to my league. But yeah, I didn't know if that was the same Seth. So Seth, if you're watching, good luck, but not as good as luck as I'm wishing myself. But you're awesome, dude, and you've done great this year, and really appreciate you. Seriously, from the bottom of the heart of my league, we appreciate you.
We do, and I well said, Jake, and I do appreciate you, Seth, for joining in and chiming into our podcast. You as well, Jesus. Thank you for chiming in and being our chat troll. That means a lot to us. Just for it to be to you guys, we'll be here every week, and so I do appreciate that, and so. But speaking of these 10-team leagues, I got a question for you guys. I got a situation on who to start in my flex. Okay. That's the situation that I have for me to win one of my 10-team leagues. I got Brandon Ayuk. Okay. I got DJ Moore. I got David Montgomery. Because I'm going to start Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to start Kyrie Williams. I'm going to start Amon St. Brown, whatever. Okay. So I'm just...
Is it a PPR?
It's a PPR league. And so... I'm leaning. I've been riding with David Montgomery, but I want to switch him out for a receiver like Puka Nacua or I wanted to ask you guys. I got Puka Nacua. No, he was the right pick last week. So it's the same league, Nick. He was the right pick, even though he hasn't been blowing up. But here. Let me go. What do I got?
I would off the top of my head. You explain Baltimore. I say no. I know that for sure. Plus, there's just so many eggs in that basket over there. You never know who's gonna get those touchdowns. So as far as percentages, you got to leave Ayuk out. Between Montgomery and DJ Moore, who the Bears play? I don't know off the top of my head.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh shoot. Yeah. I would go DJ Moore, I think.
Every time I sit him, I regret it. It's been one of those things where, the one
And I
time.
don't think he had a big game last week, right? Like
No,
I
he
think
hasn't.
he's gonna do for a big game.
Montgomery's against I think it's Minnesota, correct?
Yeah. Minnesota's got a tough run defense too, though.
Yeah, I don't like how Jahmyr Gibbs is is the superior back, and they're just using him more and more. Like I've been riding Montgomery, but I mean the bottom line, like that guy's usage is going down. I actually like Ayuk this week. When you're Baltimore, I mean they just gave up 30 points to the Rams. Baltimore gives up some points, and when you have to focus on stopping, I mean first and foremost is Christian McCaffrey. Deebo Samuel is an animal. Ayuk is always, just like on draft day, Ayuk is always kind of that forgotten guy. And I feel like Baltimore's going to put up enough points to where it's going to have to keep the San Francisco offensive engine rolling. Like, I actually like Ayuk in that matchup because they can't cover everybody. You have to scheme for McCaffrey, and you have to have something, you have to put multiple eyes on Deebo. Ayuk is just that guy where I feel like if I'm Baltimore, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to make Brock Purdy pass the ball. I'm going to make him throw the ball. And if there's one guy that's going to be single covered, to me, I feel like it's Ayuk personally. Montgomery's out on that. The matchup with the Bears and the Cardinals is juicy, but goddamn, dude, Fields is such a that floor is so low. I don't trust. Give me the talent, give me the athlete, give me the offense. I'm leaning more to Ayuk, I guess.
Oh, well, thank you guys for making it even more confusing for me. Okay.
I think your lineup was good right there. You have Ayuk and DJ Moore in. I think you're fine.
Like I said, I'm okay. I was leaning towards David Montgomery, but that's my old school running back guy, and I don't know if it's a good idea, And
he's not getting the touchdowns like he was.
Right.
They're going to other people now, and Gibbs is getting more goal line carries too. So, yeah, I agree. Montgomery's kind of down.
I got a question for you guys.
Perfect.
Standard league here. I got to start one of the two, okay? Because I'm already starting James Cook. I'm already starting David Montgomery. I got Austin Eckler. And I got Devin Singletary. And right now, Devin Singletary is against Cleveland against Austin Eckler. And who the fuck do the Chargers play this week?
Buffalo.
I'm playing Singletary, dude. I can't risk that with Eckler again, man. What do you guys think on that?
Okay, look. After a coach change and everything changing and everything happening already with Eckler being talked about being benched with Staley there, I don't even go near that direction too. I also have Eckler as well in our league, in this league, and it just hasn't panned out. And how are you going to go with something that hasn't even helped you get there? So I'd have a hard time putting in Eckler, especially against Buffalo. But all you have is Singletary to give, so I don't know,
It's tough because you can run on Buffalo. That's the thing. Even I know they just whomped on the Cowboys, but Tony Pollard averaged 5.5 yards a carry. They just got blown out of the water so much that they couldn't really stick to the run. And I don't know.
I feel like Buffalo.
They had extra time. It's new coach, new spirit. The guys are going to come out to play hard. They're playing for their jobs. Eckler's still playing for a contract. Could have that extra motivation. Got 10 days to prepare. The Bills are riding high. Going to overlook the Chargers, who just got whomped down by the Raiders. I don't know. I think it's actually a decent spot for Eckler, not to confuse you. But, I'll put it to you this way. If CJ Stroud plays, then maybe you just lean Singletary, right? If he doesn't, if he's out again because of his concussion, because he didn't practice today, maybe you look at that because you're gonna know that offense ain't gonna be scoring that many points with the backup in there, right? So, but if Stroud's in there, then you have a lot more offensive opportunities, So maybe you wait for that decision and then that'll kind of clear it up.
I feel like game scripts, and I mean because people are asking these same questions too. I think what people forget so much in these decisions is like, what is the game script going to look like? I don't think the Chargers are going to go out and score points on the opening drive. I think Buffalo gets up 1-2 scores, and then it's like all of a sudden Easton 6 got to throw. We got to throw. Chargers got to throw the ball. I mean, if I'm Buffalo at that point, I'm sending the house. And to me, it just looks like another sloppy game. Just like when the Raiders got up a few scores, and it's like the Chargers now got to throw the ball, and it looks like a disaster. But I appreciate the input. It's only life or death this week, so fun decision. But
Now, I would like to say, and this is the fun part about fantasy, is when it comes down to that one player, that's why hopefully you manage your team well and it doesn't come down to one player, right? Like we all want those 10-15 point wins to where it doesn't come down to half a point because of one guy.
Unfortunately, this was in my league. This is the league where I bet big and took Justin Fields. So besides the Eckler Singletary decision, and it pains me because Seth is probably listening and I play him. But I can start Fields against Arizona, or I can start so I picked up Flacco last week and I had him in my lineup against the Bears because Flacco is gonna the Browns are still in this competitively to get in, so they're gonna throw the ball. Flacco could get 2-3 interceptions, but the guy's throwing the ball 40 times a game, every game. So my quarterback decision is: do I start Fields against Arizona? Do I start Flacco with the Browns against Houston, or do I start Trevor Lawrence? I forget who they play. So it's like I don't want to go back to that Fields because I think Flacco gives me a really safe floor. But Fields, yes, could blow up and have that big game. But I think I'm taking Flacco this week. I'm not relying on Fields, man. I can't do it. I can't do it again.
Yes.
He's
I'm
killing
starting
me.
Fields in my league. After the bye, he's my quarterback. He's in, especially against Arizona. They give up so many points.
Yeah, I gotta play.
And the sad thing is, Nick. The sad thing is, I'm telling you guys right now, when we do this show next week, and my heart is broken, is I'm gonna have Flacco starting all week long because I'm gonna tell myself you're gonna start Flacco, but I know I'm gonna change that out for Fields. I know I'm gonna do it. It's gonna kill my soul. It's gonna kill me.
Okay, so this is perfect. So Jesus wants to know because he's 0-1 on this show. We gave him advice on Dak or Lamar, and I guess we were wrong. So he wants to know again if we should go Dak or Lamar.
That's all you, Nick.
Yeah.
Stay away from that one.
As much as I hate it, we got to go Dak again.
Yeah.
Lamar's going against the Niners. I mean, no.
Monday night.
No, because you know what? Historically, to be honest, the Niners have struggled with running quarterbacks. That's the number one quarterback. You know what? Go Lamar on the leap of faith. Go Lamar. I'm done with Dak. I've been done with Dak. I'm done with that.
Who does Dallas play this week?
Miami.
Wow.
But they're at home.
Wow.
They're a different team at home. So
no. I think they're in Miami this week.
Oh yeah, they are. They're in Miami. Yeah,
they're in Miami.
On the road. Go Lamar.
Yeah. I feel like with Lamar, it's so funny. These are the exact games why we don't think of Lamar in that really elite level. These are the games I think Lamar, when his pressure's on, Lamar takes the game into his own hands, runs the ball. He's probably going to have a ton of running yards. Like, the other thing too is it's like if you're having these decisions where it's 50-50, who do I take or whatever, like, I mean, you probably drafted Lamar third round. Like, that's the guy you put your fucking your eggs in your basket. Like, go with him at the end of the day, because nobody's gonna blame you if you start Lamar. Like, you know what I mean? Dak is terrible on the road. Cowboys got really exposed, I feel like. That, and I think Buffalo is a different team now, but that's another conversation. But yeah, if I'm going those two, I'm going Lamar, because you know what? I'm not going to feel bad if you know, I'm not going to feel bad losing with Lamar, starting. I'm just, the guy's great. He's been great. This is potentially a Super Bowl preview. Everybody knows that it's on Christmas Day. Lamar's got the talent to take this game into his hands, and be great. And this is one of those, if we're going to get into these like elite quarterback conversations or whatever, like this is a huge game, national televised, on a holiday, whatever, potential Super Bowl preview. If you're looking for one of those two quarterbacks to take this game into the hands, and win it themselves, it's Lamar. Take Lamar.
All right. Well, I hope that helps out, Jesus. But we want to move it on to the next part of this podcast with our ranting segment. And Nico, I don't know if you were having as much fun as I was on Thursday, but it's different. You're a Raider fan, and I'm formerly a Chargers fan. I am a San Diego Charger fan, but I just couldn't, I was actually doing jumping jacks, okay? It's about time. I think we are overdue of why, okay, the reason why, and hopefully, Nick, I know that you side with me on this. I've explained this to people, and people don't get it. But when Dean Spanos decided to leave San Diego, and at the expense of a kiss-ass letter to Los Angeles, I was okay with the relocation, okay? But when they moved, when he made this kiss-ass letter to Los Angeles and just totally forgot and had no gratuity to San Diego whatsoever, that's when I knew that this man had no class. After all the situations with the stadium and the voting, I had done all kinds of research. I was trying to tell Papa, because Papa said, the Chargers are going nowhere. They're staying in San Diego. I was doing all the back-end reading on all the stuff with the lease of the land and the apartments with the whatever. So what happened on Thursday, okay, sorry for rambling. I think that's exactly what happens when you're classless and you don't really care. I think the league is tired of him being an owner. And what we saw on Thursday was, does this happen all the time where the players just give up? Is it on the coach or the team or the organization? Who is to blame for all of this, Nico?
Well, I could care less. I'm going to start with that.
Oh!
I could care less about the Chargers. That is the best Raider game I have ever seen. And I've seen the Raiders win in the playoffs. I've seen only number one reason why was not only was it just our best offensive game ever in history, most points, all the records, all that stuff, but it was against the Chargers. And it was our first full, complete, all three phases of dominance. Not that we haven't played a complete game in general. We've had good games, but we dominated in the special teams. We dominated in defense. We dominated on offense. And it was against the Chargers. Like, I know we Raiders aren't making the playoffs this year, so it literally made my season. Like, it made my I'm fine with the Raiders now. I'm happy moving forward. I'm good. This year's a success because we embarrassed that team who I've had to sit through a lot of years of the Chargers dominating us, and it sucked. And so it was just, it came back full circle. It's just awesome to see. And I would like to say that if it's not Jim Harbaugh, I hope we bring Antonio Pierce back. I think he's done enough. He's shown, because here's my thing. We're going to have our ups and downs, okay? We go from Minnesota not scoring a point, okay? Not scoring a point. And what I love about Antonio Pierce is he's real and he's honest, and that's why the players play for him. He came out in the press conference. in the press conference and told them I was even down. I was down at it after that game. What coach says that? Every coach comes out and says, "Coach speak," and this. Oh, we just got to work on this. And da. He was just like, "Nah, I was down. I was embarrassed. Like I was just down because we scored no points. But the leaders that we have on the team and everything, just hey, he's like, I had to snap out of it, and to go from scoring 0 to 63, that's what you want in a coach. You want someone who can flip the script. You want someone who, all right, that's fine. We got embarrassed or we couldn't score a point. So what? Let's go to work. Let's flip this thing. Let's turn it back on. And it's just, if he hasn't done enough to earn that job, I hope he does the last 3 weeks. And again, the only coach I would say fire him for is Jim Harbaugh. But other than that, I don't want some other coordinator. I don't want some other nothing. I think he's proven himself with that game. I think he's proven himself to remain the Raiders coach, regardless of what happens the last 3 weeks. And because our defense, I don't want to lose our defensive coordinator. I think he deserves a raise. Like, he's the first one to get our defense in 20 years to be halfway different. I would hate to start all over again. Like, there's just so much there. So, yeah, that game was amazing. Chargers, it's all Dean Spanos, and he don't want to spend money. Apparently, he's saying the money thing won't be an issue when hiring a new coach. We'll see. We'll see if that's the actual case. But I mean, honestly, you can blame it on the coach too. But you know what? I've been saying this about Justin Herbert. I've been saying this for a long time. He might just not be a leader, guys, and he's not going to be elite because of that. Like, there's just too much evidence now. There's too, like, his stats are identical from his rookie year. Identical. Like, he had an amazing rookie year. They're identical. Like, he's just that guy, hasn't improved a lot offensively, and he doesn't lead the team. Like, there's too many close losses. Like, you're supposed to turn the franchise around. We talked about it. Joe Burrow went to the Bengals. The Bengals have been the laughingstock for 40 years. Like, and he turned that culture around, right? He overcame that. Justin Herbert hasn't been able to do that. Is he good? Yes. Does he put up stats? Yes. Can he throw the ball? Yes. But, like, it's that other aspect. It's what Jalen Hurts provides. It's what Josh Allen provides from time to time. Not always, but time to time. Like, just guys want to play from. I don't see that from Justin Herbert.
Well, look, yeah, that was the talk was about how atrocious that was. So, Jacob, I'm happy for the Raiders. I know that you were ecstatic about it, and that makes your season. But the talk was how the players gave up and what happened. And so, Jacob, if you mind finishing the show with what you think about what happened.
So, I grew up when I first started really following football and stuff. Obviously, my dad was, the Don Coryell era. I remember watching, when I first started really following football, Breeze and Tomlinson on all this and that. This was the first game where I really hated. I wished so much ill will towards the Chargers, and it was I looked at them and I was like, I want nothing but bad things for this franchise. And the Raiders, when they lost that embarrassing game in Minnesota, they were already out of playoff contention. And then they came into the Charger game and they were out of playoff contention. But what did they come in there with? It was like their pride was hurt. They had something to prove. They had something to prove to themselves that they were not a team of that is just going to lay over and take that. And they went out and they were ready to kick ass. And the Chargers, you never, ever, ever see that. You just see a team that gets beat, and they're beat down a little bit more than they were the last week, over and over and over again. And all you saw was Staley over and over and over again come out and say that he still believes in the team, he still believes in the defense, and this and that. And it's just like, you're terrible. And like Nick was saying, Antonio Pierce comes out and he's real. You believe it. Staley, you just look at him and he's just a puppet. And it was just like when AJ Smith, when Spanos let AJ Smith fire Marty Schottenheimer to hire a puppet, and the franchise has just gotten worse and worse and worse. And I don't blame the Chargers when they left San Diego. When the NFL says, hey, we're going to approve 2 teams to move 100 miles north of you, you either have to be one of those 2 teams, or your franchise is going to take a major hit as far as its value goes, considering that 35% of your season ticket holders at the time came from LA because there was no teams in LA. You have to be one of those 2 teams, or your franchise takes a massive hit as far as its value goes. So I don't blame them for leaving San Diego. San Diego is terrible as far as their business goes and all that stuff. Spanos spent millions over the last 2 decades since the early 90s to try and find a stadium here, and the city shot him down over and over and over again. I did not fault Dean Spanos for leaving. What I fault Dean Spanos for is having guys like AJ Smith and Tom Telesco. We've had so much talent come and go through this franchise, and it's just we can't find a coach. We can't find a guy. We can't find people to get this together. And I'm tired of the Chargers being this statistical anomaly where it's like, hey, they finished first in the league in offense and first in the league on total defense, but then we go 8-8 and we don't make the playoffs because special teams is so bad. And we let guys like Phillip Rivers, who I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Phillip Rivers should have won a Super Bowl. Eli Manning could win 2 Super Bowls. Phillip Rivers could have won a Super Bowl. He wasted his career here. And we're going to see the same thing from Herbert. And
Wow.
Maybe Herbert is not a leader. I don't know. But what I did, and granted, this year Herbert has not given anybody else a chance. I heard it put very, very well by an NFL analyst. Herbert this year has not given anybody else a chance to lose the game. Meaning it's like when you got to go down and you got to pick up 20 yards to get yourself in line for a game tying or a game winning field goal, Herbert doesn't do it. Get down there and let the kicker lose the game, or get a you're given a lead by your defense and you turn the ball, like, let the defense go lose the game, that kind of stuff. And Herbert hasn't done that. But I have a feeling what we're going to be, at the end of the day, I do feel like Herbert is a great talent. The way the guy can, stand in the pocket, the way he throws the ball, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, because of this franchise, we're never going to get a coach that can rally a team behind him. You really think those players believe in Brandon Staley? You really think that they went out there, Austin Eckler went out there and said, yeah, I'm going to put it all on the line, for this year, for this coach, when it's a contract year? No, it's just, that's the way the NFL is. And the reason why you have guys, a 31-year-old Raheem Mostert and some of these guys playing the best, Christian McCaffrey having the best, seasons of their career, they're in systems with coaches that they believe in and that they have built. And the Chargers have not done that. And the Chargers are terrible at that. That's why you get so much talent and so little results. And so, yeah, against watching the Raiders and how unprepared they were, the fumbles after turnovers, it was disgusting. Easton Stick has been a backup quarterback for 6 years behind Phillip Rivers and behind Justin Herbert. Like, Phillip Rivers is going to be in the Hall of Fame. For 6 years you've been there, and you go out and that's what you give us? It's terrible. It's just a terrible franchise. From the owner on down. And I feel bad for the players that get stuck here. And I was really glad to see the Raiders really embarrass them to that point, because Dean Spanos needs to look in the mirror and realize that he has reduced this team to what they are. So props to the Raiders. I'm glad it happened. And that's all I got to say. Spanos, until you make some changes, then you get stuck.
Well, you heard it, folks. So I want to say thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Jesus, thank you, Seth. Thank you for chatting. I do agree that the Chargers need to bring in someone they respect, a coach at least. Pay at least a coach. You've had a good defense. You've had the best talent. At least bring in a coach that can at least put it all together, at least put the cake in the oven. Okay, but with that said, we're going to be here next week. 6 p.m. next week over Championship Fantasy Weekend, right? Good luck to you, Jake.
Good luck, guys.
Commissioner, good luck
Nick,
to you,
good luck.
Nico.
Good luck. Nick,
Good luck
take
to you
it.
guys. But until next time, all right, peace be the journey, and one love. All right, guys, take it easy, guys.